Hello, and welcome to yet another playoffs game. We'll call it playoffs round 3 because I don't know if we move on from here, if we have 2 or 3 left. I think we have 2 more battles left if we win. I'm just going to say it. I don't think we're going to win today. I'm Zan, by the way. I'm the coach of the Hydrays. We're playing the owner of the league, Nova. We're currently 2-0 with Nova, if I'm not mistaken. Both the games were very close, and he brings some crazy sets that I can never really prep for. So I tried to match him with that and bring some crazy stuff of my own. Obviously, we have some standard things. If you see the Scarfed Golden Go and the AV hands, originally they were both something different. There was a defensive Golden Go, and it was Rocky Helmet hands. But I did some calcs, and I was like, man, maybe Scarf's better, maybe AV's better. I'm 40 minutes late to our battle, unfortunately. So we only just sat down. I actually did some of this prep as I got back while I was genning the mons that I was set on. So definitely not my cleanest build of all time. We're waiting on our opponent just a minute. He had to run to the bathroom real quick. But I appreciate him being like flexible with his time. So it means a lot. Thank you, Nova. I know you do watch at least some of these videos, so if you watch this one, I do appreciate you. Even though you're about to hacks the crap out of me in this battle coming up, I'm about to miss every move possible. you know how it goes. So while we're waiting on him, I'll give a quick team preview. If you want to skip straight to the battle, I'll put a timestamp below, and you don't have to listen to any of this. But just to give you an idea of what we're bringing, I think our big win con this battle is Moltres. He has 3 Dark Resist, and 2 of the 3 are weak to flying. So Moltres goes kind of crazy. The only kind of X factor is Glastrier. It always eats a +2 Moltres hit and probably KOs us back with an Icicle Crash if it's max attack. So that's an issue. We want to weaken it if at all possible, so we brought Rocks. So if he's not Boots, we get to weaken it. That's all the chip we need if we get to +1, hopefully. If he's AV, then it's another story. But yeah, it's standard Moltres, kind of fast, kind of strong, kind of bulky. You know how it goes. Moltres is a great Pokemon. We've got Scarf Golden Go, and the funny thing is, normally I run a lot of bulk in my Scarf Golden Goes. I just set them to outrun, like, the fastest Pokemon on my opponent's team. I don't really take into account other Scarfers, at least with Golden Go, because usually I can take one anyway. This time I had to run 252, because that's the only way we outrun Hisuian Electrode, which is so strange. Literally, Scarf Golden goes 1 point faster than max speed Hisuian Electrode, so I thought that was cool. Definitely worth bringing it. Golden Go's got natural bulk, maybe it can take one anyway. We've got AV Iron Hands, pretty standard Drain Punch. We've got Wild Charge over Thunder Punch or Supercell Slam, because Wild Charge nets a guaranteed KO on things like Keldeo, and the recoil is negligible. I mean, we can handle it. We've got Play Rough, because a lot of his big switch-ins, like Dragapult, that resist our Dual Stab, doesn't want to take a Play Rough, so hopefully we can catch him off guard with that if he tries to make a defensive switch. We've got the AV Volt Switch. So getting pivoting on his 3 really slow Pokemon is nice. So I like that, especially if we can force a Terra. So it looks like he's ready to go. So we will load up the battle. Let's see, what else we got? We got Deoxys with Eject Pack, so Psycho Boost Eject Pack to kind of give us some momentum. We got Life Orb Cinderace, 4 attacks, hopefully predicting one of his Terramons, like this Crocolore here is going to be Terra Fairy. Kind of what I was hoping on. And we have Grafaiai that is a sub-toxic Parting Shot knockoff set, and I'll explain that one after we take notes on his team. But I really think it's cool. So he's got no Illumise, no Ice Cube. He's been loving the Ice Cube. Persian shows up, which is a little annoying to me. I was kind of hoping Persian wouldn't show up. It completely destroys our Golden Go set. Crocolore shows up, no Glastrier, it's great. No Trode, it's fine. He's got the Lucha. He's got Lucha with no Rillaboom, so no Rillaboom. There is a Treads. There is a Slowking. No, okay, there is a Keldeo. No, Dragapult. Are you serious? My whole prep with Grafaiai was for Dragapult, Nova. Come on. Man. Well, I over-prepped like crazy for Dragapult, so that's a little frustrating. So Grafaiai was sub-toxic Parting Shot, because the idea was if Dragapult comes in on it, if we Parting Shot while we have a sub up, if he's Infiltrator, then we get out, and we don't have to worry about us hitting through sub. If he's Clear Body, the Parting Shot fails, and he only hits our sub. So I thought it was a cool little cheeky set to figure out the Dragapult ability, but it doesn't even matter, because Nova doesn't even bring Dragapult, so it's fine. We can deal with it. I will lock in. Yeah, I like the Deoxys lead. Pretty much everything that could one-shot Deoxys can't also be faster than it, so I like that. Good luck. Have fun to my opponent. I shouldn't wish luck anymore because luck has not been on our side ever. If we look at his team, he has 3 ground weeks and only Hawlucha is an immunity, so that's pretty nice. He brought a lot of speed. I don't know if it'll be like a close combat Hawlucha or if it'll be like a mold breaker or defog type set to get around us hazard stacking. Does lead with Keldeo, which is good for me. So I actually already have this pulled up in the calc because I kind of anticipated Keldeo. So if it's Choice Scarfed, it cannot one-shot us ever. And if it's Choice Specs, it's a roll. But then we KO it with Psycho Boost. So at worst, he probably goes into Persian here. I mean, I could just set up rocks. And if he's Specs, then we figure it out. I could knock off. He might be Scarf flip turn. I actually kind of like knocking off on this first turn. I know the Psycho Boost is a good way to gain momentum, but if he's Specs, we can knock off the Specs, so I do like that option. He's Scarf, okay. Scarf flip turn. I need a notepad. I didn't see that damage, so I don't know if it's like a physical Keldeo, but I kind of doubt it. So he's got the Keldeo at Choice, Scarf, flip turn. Persian comes in, we kind of expect that. We knock it off, we do 0 damage, and its item was Clear Amulet. Okay, so we can't... He's trying to prevent our parting shots. This is the ultimate Grafai counter. Because it's got Clear Amulet. Can't be parting shotted on anyway because of Prankster. And then, yeah, it's not great. This Pokemon's a big X factor for me. I don't know what it wants to do here. Obviously, it could go for a knockoff of its own. I guess if it's special, that's potentially a problem for hands. I actually don't know what coverage it would get for hands. I know it gets play rough, but its attack stats pretty bad. So I couldn't imagine it two-shots it. And obviously, I can't Psycho Boost here. This is the one Dark Top he had, and I honestly didn't anticipate it. So we'll just go into hands. It's not my best decision, probably. Thought about Blastoise. Kind of figured he'd bring... Oh, he's got Slow King. He's got Foul Play. It does quite a bit, honestly, to be a resisted hit. We also didn't bring Alcremie or Landorus. I just didn't like him that much into this matchup. Although looking at it now, maybe Alcremie would have been decent into this Persian. So, he hit me with a Foul Play. He might want to bring Slow King in on this. Treads, maybe? He may just want to stay in. He didn't bring a Ghost. He didn't bring his Dragapult, so I can just click Drain Punch. But also, if something like Hawlucha comes in, I can go for a Play Rough. And he has 3 resist and 3 weaknesses to Fairy, so that's kind of funny. 2 weaknesses to resist to Fighting. And only 1 resist to Electric is here, so it makes Wild Charge a little bit tempting. I will go for a Drain Punch, try to get a little health back. He does a U-turn, so he's very supportive Persian. That U-turn did 17, so we can probably learn a thing or two off of that. If we look at our Iron Hands into a Persian Alola, defensive pivots, goes into Aries, Crocolore, okay, that's cool. Drain Punch, heals us for 42, so that's not bad. If we look at U-turn from Persian, 17 is the high roll of a no-attack Persian. So, if it has investment, it would be more low roll. So we really don't learn a whole lot off of that. Obviously, I can Volt Switch here. That Drain Punch did a decent amount. You want to know something that's annoying to me? The default Showdown calc doesn't have a Crocolore set. And I think that's an insult to Crocolore because this little guy is bulky. This looks to be a max defense. Yeah, looks to be a very defensive Crocolore. We'll go for a Volt Switch. He doesn't Terra. Okay, so he didn't respect the Earthquake. Definitely could see a Will-O-Wisp come out here. I don't really see Crocolore doing that much to our Deoxys, so this could be a good time to get our rocks up. Obviously, Grafai could come in here, but we don't really want to get burned. Don't really want to take a fire move on either of those guys. We have Cinderace, like a Gunk Shot, but I kind of like just going into Deoxys here. I couldn't imagine. I mean, it's probably doing like 30%, right? Yeah, 30, 35. So we take 2. We can just drop a Psycho Boost, or we can get our rocks up. And assuming it's unaware, Psycho Boost never does less to this, no matter how much we drop. So he does get a miss. I'm sorry. We were a mixed Deoxys, so the burn would only have weakened knockoff. I will get rocks up, though. He does hard switch, probably back into Persian. So he's got Crocolore at probably Eviolite, defensive with Will-O-Wisp. I mean, I could go into hands here, but it's kind of a losing battle with hands. Not that I want to take a hit on Deoxys from a Persian, but if it's the bulky set, let me just see. I mean, yeah, we're not doing anything by staying in, and foul play is doing a clean, like 65%, so that's not great. So we will just go back into hands. We'll play this dance. If he's got play rough, maybe it 2-shots us from here, but I kind of doubt it. He does have knock, so we will get rid of our AV. I do suddenly really wish we were helmet, because we would have gotten 3 rounds of helmet on this Persian. So I was about to say maybe it's AV Persian, but we knocked off the clear amulet. It's definitely not. I kind of want to make a play here and go for play rough, see if he brings in something on a drain punch here. We'll just keep him on his toes. Because I could see Glow King or Hawlucha trying to come in on this. Maybe not. Maybe he just goes back into Crocolore, and then play rough is less chip than we would have got otherwise. So, I don't know. Definitely wish I was helmet, though. So that's one kind of 50-50 with myself that I messed up a bit. Does U-turn again. Gets a baby amount of chip on us. Persian is always a Pokemon that I see on people's teams, and I'm like, they're not going to bring that. And it tends to show up. So it is the Glow King that comes in. So this play rough will probably do very little. It does take Rock's Chip, which is a plus. Play rough does an okay amount of damage. So that makes me think it might be a Spadef Glow King. I tried to look up Glow King in the calc, and of course that's not its actual name. Yeah, that's probably Spadef based on that damage. So I will just Volt Switch. If he outspeeds me, it's valuable knowledge. But it would take a considerable amount of investment for him to outrun me, I think. Like, yeah, like, it would have to be like timid Glow King to outrun me, which would be kind of an insane bring. Wild Charge would do like half to this guy, but I think health on hands is pretty important. Yeah, that Volt Switch did negative damage. That might actually be AV. So, Psychic move, fairly obvious. Thunder Wave is an option. Maybe I should have just hit it with hands, honestly. Because I'm thinking Golden Go at this point is my best bring-in. I guess Golden Go's less valuable since Keldeo's Scarf. It's really just there to revenge a Hawlucha that's like not boosted. It is Psyshock. Okay, that's good to know. So that would have done crazy damage to hands. Cloaking. I'm going to put AV with a question mark with Psyshock. We can calc that damage real quick. We let go Psyshock, and I hope the volume is okay on this because I did not have a chance to test it. 15 to 18, it did 56. So yeah, once again, standard 0 attack. It's totally fine. Persian comes in, Persian Alola. I mean, Mega Rain's done crazy damage to max HP Persian, but if he stays in and kind of pivots this out, that wouldn't be great. I mean, Shadow Ball's the safe play, but if we want to get rid of Persian, I think we click Make It Rain. Shadow Ball's also a lot stronger into both Crocolore and Treads. So he does stay in. This will do a ton of damage. Okay, he's AV. Okay, that confirmed it. Does have Flamethrower. This will hurt, but it shouldn't KO, yeah, based on that other damage. Gets a burn, man. That's kind of brutal. I guess it makes up for the burn he missed earlier, though. So, yeah, that kind of has to be AV Max Spadef. Holy crap. That's a bulky Glow King. So, pretty much has to switch out here. I can only imagine it's going to be into Persian, which makes me want to go into hands here. But if he just stays in and attacks, that's really awkward. But I think I gotta do it. I gotta try to call that Persian coming in, because Golden Go's now very limited on how long it can stay in with that burn. I think we've got like 3 or 4 ticks of burn left on us. I should have checked my health a little closer. I can't imagine he would let Glow King go down this early, but he might. We switch first, but I think that's to be expected. Hans comes in. If he clicks Psyshock here, that's a great play, honestly. Okay, he switches to show me the Persian, please. Goes into Ruby. That's something we haven't seen yet. Okay, Persian. What? I was not paying attention to its name earlier. Oops. I was not paying very much attention to the naming. So Golden goes at 55 health. So yeah, 17%. We've got 2 ticks of burn on Golden Go before it goes down from that. So clearly he could U-turn here. This time I think I want to click Wild Charge. It's the only move I haven't shown. My other option being Volt Switch. Actually, Glow King comes in, takes a Drain Punch, dies to a Wild Charge. Nothing on his team really wants to take a Drain Punch into a Wild Charge. So I am just going to go for that, keep my health up. Does U-turn again. Totally fine. He's taking Rocks Chip now. His only option to get rid of Rocks is his... well, no, he has 2. It could be Defog Hawlucha. And also could be Spin on Treads, which is more likely. Ares comes back in, so Crocalor gets to come say hi again. Takes 25% off from Rocks, which is pretty great. Drain Punch is going to give us a ton of health back, knock him very low. It looks like he doesn't have any boots, unless there are boots on the Treads, which would be kind of odd. And then maybe boots on Lucha, if it's like a defensive Mold Breaker build. So I don't think a... Volt Switch knocks this out, so we'll just click Drain Punch again. He could definitely go into Glow King here, but then, like I said earlier, we just Wild Charge it, and it should KO because it looks like it's like max Spadef AV. Oh, shoot. But I forgot about Terra. It's probably Terra Fairy. I should have Wild Charged. That's lapse in judgment. Hopefully we still knock it out, but it's going to do half damage. This would be a huge blunder if this doesn't KO. Oh, it doesn't. It lives on 1. Oh, I messed up so bad. I should have just Wild Charged. Oh, good, Terra. I completely forgot. He does slack off. So, yeah, that's a huge misplay. Damn. So, Crocalor is going to get a lot of health back. I will just Volt Switch here. He can slack off again. So, shoot, man. Should have just Wild Charged. I completely forgot this guy could Terra, which I think he could also Terra Ground. So, that could have also been annoying. I mean, I can go Grafai here, get a Toxic on this guy if he's going to be obnoxious. I could go back into Deoxys. I mean, if he burns me, that's bad for Grafai, so I do think I just go back into Deoxys. So he's Willow, slack off. I can only imagine he's like Terra Blast Flamethrower. Slacks off again, so he's back to full. So I could Psycho Boost, I could Taunt, I could Knock. Knock gets rid of Eviolite. I kind of like Knock. I could Knock into Psycho Boost. Knock at least does something to Persian if it comes back in. We are slowly chipping away at it. Damn. That's, oh man, that's such a bad misplay on my part. I should just click Wild Charge. Terra Ground was relatively unlikely with Blastoise. I think this would be his primary Blastoise check, and Terra Fairy was his best way to deal with it. So yeah, that made way more sense than Terra Ground. He will just switch. Maybe back into Persian we'll get like 5% off with knockoff. Just wasn't worth me switching. Does come in. Oh, this thing is so healthy. This Knock's going to do about 5 damage. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously, it's the freest U-turn in the world. We're playing a dance back and forth right now, but I do think it is a dance I end up getting out of relatively unscathed. But obviously, he could go into something like Treads here. Holding Treads in the back the way he is makes me think it might be Booster. Maybe Booster Attack, Booster Speed, most likely, because it's not coming in for free on hands. But this is the first time it kind of gets to pivot in completely for free, so we'll see. Nope, just goes back into Crocalor. Okay. I hate how much health it has now. Should have went for Wild Charge. I mean, this is just an endless dance with this M Crocolore. So if he's max defense, I don't even know that a gunk shot from Cinderace would KO. Because I think a Will-O-Wisp comes out here. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I'll Volt Switch, get my extra little baby chip. Volt Switch also prevents him from ever making a cheeky double, so that's kind of nice. I do think a gunk actually KOs him from where he's at, so. We'll go into Cinderace. If he Terra Blasts or Flamethrowers, we take some damage, but not anything we can't deal with. Flamethrower comes out. It will hurt. Ow, okay. Does like 58. You know, Crocolore at base has a decent special attack stat because it's 90, you know? Like, it's a pretty strong little Pokemon. Yeah, that's pretty standard. I don't know if he expects the gunk shot here. I'm just going to go for it. Libero. Poison, and we miss. Oh, man, that would have gotten rid of Crocolore. Shoot, man. So he slacks off, and now he gets a free switch into something. Bro, or Treads. Shoot, that would have. That's two chances we've had to knock this out. One that I made a misplay, and then another that now he knows I'm gunk shot. So he could go for a Will-O-Wisp here. That's why I'm U-turning. Is he either switches into Treads or he goes for a Will-O-Wisp, I would imagine, because he does live one. He might think I'm banded, though. So I think that would make him want to go into Treads. Even if I'd click Pyro Ball there, I mean, I guess I could have if I really wanted to call Treads, but I expect that to be what he brings in. Man, okay, he does switch, but that was such a dumb first play. The miss is unfortunate, but this is only because I made a bad play earlier that I even have to deal with this now. So we'll U-turn. I don't think we saw an item pop there. Take Life Orb. He knows we're Life Orb now. I forget how to save a set in the calc because I'm stupid. Oh, export. Okay, nice. Import. Boom. Now we got that Crocolore set for future reference. And our Treads answer, huh? That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know what our Treads answer is. I guess it was Pyro Ball and Cinderace. We could Terra Dark our Grafaiai, scare him with Terra Fighting Low Kick. Trick with Shadow Ball, or Trick with Golden Go to lock it into one move, so we can lock it into either Earthquake or Knockoff here, and maybe set up with Moltres, but maybe it's a little too early for that. I mean, we could just go Deoxys and drop a Psycho Boost, and that would at least do something. Because he probably wants to spin, right? I think I'm going to go into Grafaiai, and I'm going to Parting Shot because I need more time to think. So he might think Iterra here. He's not Booster, we know for sure. Yeah, Pyro Ball actually wouldn't have one-shot because we're no longer a fire type, but it would have done a crazy amount of damage. We'll just Parting Shot to weaken him. He's clear Amulet too? Oh, but he spins. Okay, so not punished. He's clear Amulet everywhere. Oh my gosh. Nova, come on. You're playing the crap out of me right now. I mean, we saw one, I guess, so we should have expected another. That spin did 60, if I'm not mistaken. So we actually wouldn't die if we subbed here, but... I mean, I can go into Moltres. It is our win con, but it's also my only switch into this now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, I should have brought Landorus, but he's probably Ice Spinner. I will go into Moltres, though, because I expect an Earthquake to come out here. Shoot, man. I can't go for Parting Shot on anything. That's no fun. He does Earthquake, so he did call that right. He could be Ice Spinner, he could be Knockoff here. He's faster than Cinderace now, so I can't just freely go into that. I mean, we always live an Ice Spinner from this, right? Pretty easily. Moltres, yeah, would barely do half if it did half. So I'm going to agility. It does have the ice spinner. Barely doesn't do half, which is actually more annoying because we don't get berserk. It did 160. Which means he's not max investment. For him to do 160, he should never be able to do the remaining 50% of our health now, actually. So we'll go for 1 Fiery Wrath. He's more than welcome here to go into Crocolore, but then I can go into Deoxys, get my rocks back up, start this whole cycle over again. Does decide to stay in, so we'll get a Fiery Wrath off. It does crit. I'm sorry about the crit. That's pretty brutal. And the flinch. Okay. I'm sorry, Nova. That was uncalled for. Although I suppose Fiery Wrath at least had a chance to KO on the second without a crit, but the flinch really does matter because we get +1, but then he just goes into Crocolore. Although we could have rested after. I don't know. We will just go for another one. He will save the Tusk at like 20%. It does go into Crocolore, which is fine. So, or Tusk, Treads. It's Future Tusk is the nickname. We know it's Spin. We know it's EQ. We know it's Ice Spinner. And we know it's not quite max attack. And we know it's Clear Amulet. So, Clear Amulet everything. I am going to save this. I'm going to go back into Deoxys, and I am going to get my rocks back up. Because that's our best way to chip down what he has left. So, this Crocolore is going to be a huge pain now, but he doesn't know our Grafai Eye set, so that's kind of a saving grace. He does go for Terra Blast, so I did kind of call this full set. He brought this exact set versus me in another league, in UNPL, which is funny. So, we know the full set. We know Persian can come in here for free. I don't care. I'm going to get rocks up. Because rocks are just too important to keeping everything low. I should have been tracking health a little better. We're still 6v6. We've been playing this game for a while, and neither of us is letting anything go down. That's kind of crazy. That Persian's really a wrench. It's hard. Scarf Keldeo is going to be annoying into the late game. I mean, he only knows 2 of our moves on this Deoxys, so that's a plus. We could stop this from healing in the future. It seems like he's mostly attacks on other things. He's 3 attacks on Persian. He's probably 4 attacks on Keldeo. Probably 4 attacks on Slowking. Probably 4 attacks on Treads. So Taunt may not have been our smartest move because it doesn't do anything against most of his Pokemon. So Treads is the switch in. Does it not kill this? Deoxys speed into a standard Tread Psycho Boost should kill this. And then we actually lose momentum if we KO this, because we have to pick something that he can then bring something into revenge it with. Which will be Grafai Eye, I would imagine. So we'll drop a Psycho Boost. This should KO. He's not AV. Does KO. Okay, we get our first KO of the game. We crit. That crit should not have mattered. I will say, the crit against it earlier mattered for sure. That crit probably didn't matter. If we didn't get the crit earlier, that one probably wouldn't have KO'd still. So, I don't know. Trying to justify my luck. I am sorry. I normally am not the one on the lucky side of the fence, so that's kind of unusual. But I do apologize. I will go into a Grafai here because not only do I get an extra layer of Black Sludge, or an extra turn Black Sludge, I can also sub or Parting Shot on anything he wants to bring in. So, DOS is at 1 and something, and Iron Treads is at 01. We can only imagine that Iron Treads was his only removal, and he's not Defog Hawlucha. Whether or not that's true, I'm not sure, but we can hope. So he goes into this because it's immune to our Parting Shot. But does it break our sub? Because we are really defensive. We are like impish this week. And the funny thing was, I brought very specific EVs on this. I only put enough speed to outspeed Adamant Rillaboom so we could tell if it was Adamant or Jolly, and he didn't even bring Rillaboom. So Knockoff's a chance to KO, Foul Play's a chance to KO, but if we Terra Dark, suddenly neither KOs, but then U-Turn would break our sub. And by KO, I mean break sub. So yeah, if we Terra Dark, U-turn actually probably doesn't break if we Terra. Now, what does it do for the rest of the team, though? It means Glowking could get up T-Spikes, but I don't think he's T-Spikes. It makes us weak to Hawlucha. It makes Crocolore's Terra Blast super effective, but I do think it's worth it. Why did I do this? Because I can't do anything to this? I don't know. We will Terra Dark. And we'll see what this decides to go for. Because we can only knock off this and already lost its item, so it's not like knockoff's doing that much. He decides to go for Endeavor. Okay, that's a move. Does that break sub? No. Huh. Endeavor is a crazy move, Nova. I have no idea how that impacts Substitute. We're like at the same health, so I guess it just doesn't do anything. The only thing that breaks sub here is U-turn, and then we can knock off whatever comes in. So I'm okay with that. U-turn hits. I think with the Endeavor damage this breaks. It's 22 to 26 normally. Yeah, so it does break. He might have some attack investment too. It's just on treads. It didn't look like it had very much, if any. So that is a wild Persian set, dude. I love it, though. It's really strong into my slow team. So he knows Knock comes out here, probably. So I feel like Hawlucha is not a bad bring-in for him. I swear to God, Nova, if it is a clear Amulet Hawlucha, I'm going to scream. So it's Keldeo, and we actually knock off the Scarf here. So that's something. We get more chip. We give him a Justified boost, but if he's physical, then it matters, but otherwise it shouldn't. We get a little more Black Sludge. Wait, what did I get hurt by? Am I crazy? Was I not at more health earlier? He U-turned. Broke my sub. Brought in Keldeo. I knocked it off. Why am I below half health now? I missed something vital that's happened in this game. I'll have to watch that back later. I will just go for a parting shot, because it should be unpunishable. Why did I take damage? Oh, he's Vacuum Wave. Oh, no. My Toxic Grafai. Scarf Vacuum Wave? I did not anticipate that at all. Shoot, man. I thought he would be like Secret Sword Hydro Pump Surf. So that's huge, honestly. That Grafai Toxic would have been huge for Crocolore. So unfortunately, we've now lost our Toxicer, and Grafai gets no kills again. Come on. So Cinderace always outspeeds, probably doesn't KO. Vacuum Wave doesn't KO Golden Go, and Persian's in a state where 2 Shadow Balls knocks it out. So the only real switch into Golden Go would be his Crocolore, which doesn't want to take a Make It Rain or a Trick. Deoxys obviously knocks this out with a Psycho Boost. A Vacuum Wave definitely doesn't. Yeah, I think it's got to be Deoxys. This Deoxys is doing a lot more than I intended, honestly. Persian could come in here, and I guess that's okay. Actually, I could call the Persian switch and go into hands, because I do imagine he goes Persian here. I'm going to make the switch. If we lose off of it, it's fine. I'm trying to make big reads to stop losing momentum to the stupid Persian. Man, that's a good move. I did not anticipate. As soon as I saw Scarf, Vacuum Wave kind of went out the window. Vacuum Wave is very much a Specs move. So I guess I should have just hard switched, but I don't have a great switch into this, honestly. I've let everything get weakened. I've lost my AV, so there's not a lot of great switch-ins. He's really thinking about this move, which is actually making me nervous. If Crocolore was gone, I would feel a little better about this, because he would have less defensive pivots. So if he stays in and surfs, he got me good. But, you know, that would be a pretty hard play. Okay, stayed in and surfed. Would have let me take this. We do take 2. So I will just go for a Wild Charge. His only Wild Charge switch-in is gone, but damn. I could have KO'd this for free, but I didn't want to lose momentum into Persian again. So I think my play made sense. I think he just outplayed me there. He made the right call. Another Surf will knock me really low. A Secret Sword will also knock me really low. Low enough that a Wild Charge will then KO me. But that's okay. If he's last move Hydro Pump, then he Soul Red me and knew exactly what he needed to bring for this. So if he does that, then, you know, just well played. Got me good. Yeah. Does Surf again. This should not KO. It knocks me to 15 health. So we will double down here. Yep. KO Keldeo. So Iron Hands goes 1-1. And then self KO from Wild Charge. And then Keldeo goes 1-1. Did not get that second KO. So he's got Hawlucha, Glowking, Crocalor, and Persian left. So this makes me think Cinderace is a reasonable bring in here. Moltres sets up on most things, but I have to get more damage on that Crocalor. I'm just going to lose to it. Golden Go I could bring in here, but it doesn't KO. Or if it does KO, it takes so much damage on itself. I'd have to sack something else. I do think Ace is my best bring in. He does bring in the Lucha. If it's Scarf Lucha, then I lose Ace here, but I have to go for Pyro Ball, I think, in this scenario. Cinderace into Hawlucha. He does take Rock, so he's not Boots. Pyro Ball KOs a standard Hawlucha, or a healthy Hawlucha, really. And he doesn't KO us back? I mean, maybe if he's adamant, he KOs us from this, but it's a roll probably in his favor. I mean, I'm going to go for Pyro Ball. I think that's my best play with what he has left. We do land, and it does KO. Sweet, thank you. I'm so glad I ran Life Orb. I almost ran Boots. But he only has one Rock Setter and one T-Spike Setter, so Boots didn't make too much sense. So Cinderace goes 1 and something. And then, what is that Pokemon? Hawlucha went 0-1. Man, this is a stressful game. I did not prep enough for this. So what's he got left? He's got an AV Glowking, a support Persian, and a Crocalor. So he does not have much left that's offensive. He has no priority. Cinderace outspeeds everything left on his team. Gunk Shot KOs Crocalor. Persian has a limited amount of health left, and then the Glowking can't pivot super freely. So we're looking okay. The problem is that the Persian is a hard wall to Deoxys. And I have to, oh my gosh, I either have to land a gunk shot or I have to make it rain the Crocalor. That's the only way to beat it with what's left. So he's at 50%. If this wasn't super important to beating the Persian, I would honestly Sucker Punch right now. I'm gonna Sucker Punch, I think. Sucker Punch always KOs, it looks like. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say he's AV and I'm gonna Sucker Punch. Oh, it's Libero. I was like, he's not AV? Are you crazy? Okay. So all 4 moves on Cinderace made sense this week. So Cinderace gets another KO. Glowking goes on 1. Crocalor comes in. We no longer become a poison type. We're now a dark type. I kind of want to save health on this, if we're being honest. Glowking is gone. So it's just this stupid thing. I mean, Deoxys is useless into Persian, so I think I can go Deoxys pretty freely. I don't think it's worth U-turning here, because that's Life Orb chip that might actually mean something. I am just going to hard switch into Deoxys. Really, really, really wishing I had my Grafaiai right now, because if I could land a Toxic on this, we would be in such good shape. We'll go into Deoxys. Pressure doesn't matter. I wish Deoxys got another ability, honestly. It does Terra Blast. Fair play. It would have hit Cinderace super effectively, so a Gunk Shot miss, he would have knocked us out. I wasn't willing to risk that. Looks like we don't actually take another one, which is pretty brutal. It's not looking good, but I will Psycho Boost. If he brings in Persian, I let this go down to Persian. Bring in Moltres, set up an Aerial Ace. Deoxys into Crocolore. Yeah, Psycho Boost is doing half if he's just bold. Knockoff also gets rid of his Eviolite, which would make him a lot easier for my other mons to deal with, and would hit Persian coming in. But we really just need the chunk damage, right? So I am just gonna go for I'm gonna go for Knock because I can bring Golden Go in and make it rain after this. Okay, we do get the chip damage on on Persian. So he takes a little more. I suddenly wish I wasn't Taunt. I suddenly really wish I was Super Power. Obviously that Knock won't do anything. I mean, I don't think there's anything better unless Crocolore magically KOs Goltrez. Nah, Terra Blast never KOs. Actually, I do think it's worth saving Deoxys then. Because Persian defensive. Yeah, it's never doing any damage. It can only endeavor us down, and then every attack does like 10%. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to save it, because honestly, Knock is very valuable into that Crocolore that shouldn't be alive. So we're going to Goltrez. He foul plays. This does 10%. Yeah, it gives us our Berserk boost. I could Agility, or I could Rest here. I like Agility, I think. And then I can Rest on the Crocolore and try to Air Slash it to death. Agility just to outspeed this so that we can Air Slash it and maybe end on higher health if it endeavors this turn. We've got him kind of in a bad scenario where his last Pokemon are defensive or support. So he will U-turn. This will do minimal damage. And if he is a Crocolore... I mean, Air Slash is doing about a fourth to defensive Crocolore. I'll rest once. I know the boost doesn't matter, but I will rest once anyway, just so Terra Blast guaranteed doesn't knock us out. And Knockoff will do less damage, you know, that's always a plus. And it's as good a time as any to get our health back up. So this is supposed to be a win con, and he ended up bringing an amazing counter team to it, so. Damn. What a game. Amazing sets, honestly. Like, definitely not what I expected. So he slacks off as well. So this is funny. I can't ever bring Deoxys in because it will drop to one hit. So I am just going to Air Slash. It's eventually just going to be a game of luck, unfortunately, between crits, flinches, misses. I can eventually let this go down. Maybe. Oh my gosh, okay. Maybe he's got some special attack on that. I can't bring anything in on it. I kind of have to let this go down. I will Air Slash once, and then maybe he slacks off, and I can try to call the switch. Okay, slacks off this turn. So that's 3. I should count these, honestly. So Keldeo's gone. Glowking's gone. 3 slack offs. Actually 4. He used 2 earlier. So 4 slack offs. Having to rely on a gunk shot is not great. But I think just a free switch and a Golden Go is all we really need. Yeah, Golden Go should always KO. We do get the flinch, so he is forced to slack off again. This is all I can really do. Slack off 5. Not that I have anything stally in the back, so these slack offs are only for this. And I guess Deoxys, but he just KOs Deoxys in one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. He's kind of checkmated here because if he goes into Persian, it definitely gets 2-shot by Air Slash, so he does eventually, yeah, has to knock us out. We will get another Berserk boost here, not that it's relevant. Yeah, and we actually can't take another one for sure. It's so strong. Crocolore is such a funny Pokemon. I know Nova loves it. This Glowking treads, I know Nova's a big fan of. And Amorous. Oh, we get a big flinch. Will the next one KO? We actually landed more than 3 in a row. He lives on 1 again. He flinches again. It was not meant to be, Crocolore. I'm sorry. So even if that didn't happen, we bring in Golden Go to make it rain, wins the game. The KOs just go to Moltres instead of Golden Go in this scenario. So we somehow narrowly scrape a victory out of this. We have a ton of really hurt Pokemon in the back. Definitely could have went a different way. Crocolore should have been dead twice over, honestly, but it's gone now. This comes in, and at +2, we may not even have to risk the Air Slash miss. Yeah, we don't have to risk the Air Slash miss. So yeah, Moltres cleans up. It was our win con in this game. That's not how I expected it to win with a double flinch on Crocolore. But like I said, Golden Go cleans up the game anyway. The biggest hacks I think that mattered in this game was the crit on Iron Treads from us. That was massive. And that definitely could have changed the trajectory of this battle. Because if Treads was still alive, that thing was a threat. It was very difficult for us to deal with. And then I guess the other hacks would be the Gunk Shot miss, but in the end it didn't matter because we were able to knock out Crocolore anyway. We had enough tools left in the back, but damn, what a battle. So we move on. I think we have 2 more after this, which is a grueling climb, honestly. So yeah, this has been a crazy playoff run. We're at least in, I think it's a double elim bracket, so we're playing the loser of the top 2 winner brackets. So technically top 3. So that's cool. We at least get a bronze out of this. We may end up top 2. I know that the dude that's currently at the very top is the guy that absolutely obliterated us on week 8. So yeah, GG's to Nova. I knocked out the owner of the league in his own league, so that always feels a little bit good. A little bit of hacks in there. I do feel a little bad, but I do think we made enough right plays in that to kind of deserve the win. He did too, of course, but we just ended up coming out on top. So yeah, GG's, and we will see you for semis.